In the quiet heart of Rajasthan, far from the modern hum of India's cities, there is a temple where the sacred and the strange intermingle in ways that seem almost dreamlike. It is known as the Karni Mata Temple, but most visitors simply call it the Temple of Rats. Imagine stepping into a place where the walls echo with soft scurrying, where thousands upon thousands of tiny lives dart and gather, where the ground beneath your feet feels alive. It is not a nightmare, but rather a sanctuary, revered and beloved. For here, the rat is not vermin, it is divine. The story begins with Karni Mata, a mystic woman who lived in the 14th century. She was considered an incarnation of the goddess Durga, a figure of immense power and protection. Legends say she could perform miracles, guiding kings and shaping destinies. But the tale that binds her forever to this temple is one of death, rebirth, and tiny whiskered creatures. According to tradition, when the son of one of her clansmen died, Karni Mata implored the god of death, Yama, to restore him to life. Yama refused, declaring that once a soul had passed, it could not return. Undeterred, Karni Mata decreed that her people would be reborn not as spirits of the underworld, but in the bodies of rats, safe within her temple, until their turn came again to live as humans. And so, the rats of Deshnok became sacred souls, a living bridge between mortality and reincarnation. When you first approach the temple, its marble facade rises pale against the desert sun, its silver doors gleaming with etchings of divine figures. Pilgrims leave their shoes outside, stepping barefoot onto the cool stone. But what captures the senses most is not the architecture, but the movement, an endless shimmer of whiskers, tails, and tiny paws. More than 20,000 rats call the temple home, darting between bowls of milk, clustered grains, and scattered offerings. They are not feared, not shunned, but cherished. Devotees bend low to feed them, scattering sweets, watching the creatures nibble with delicate jaws. Some even drink from the communal bowls of milk after the rats have tasted them, for such food is considered blessed, a form of holy communion. There are no shrieks of disgust here, no recoiling at their numbers. Instead, there is a kind of hush, a reverence, as though the very air carries the understanding that these creatures are more than they seem. The pilgrims call them Kabbas, the children of Karni Mata. Within this ocean of tiny bodies, a few rare ones stand out. Every so often, a white rat emerges, its pale fur glowing against the darker tide. To glimpse one is a moment of grace, a promise of good fortune, for the white rats are believed to be manifestations of Karni Mata herself, watching over her temple. Pilgrims will wait patiently, quietly, for hours, hoping for a fleeting glimpse, as if gazing upon a vision. The relationship between people and rats here is not one of dominance or fear, but of coexistence. If a rat dies accidentally, perhaps trampled or crushed, it is not dismissed as vermin lost, but mourned as a soul departed. The temple caretakers even provide a ritual of recompense. A rat's death must be atoned for by offering a small statue of the animal cast in silver or gold so that the balance of lives is maintained. In this way, the cycle of rebirth is honored, and the dignity of every small being upheld. As the sun sets over Rajasthan, the temple takes on another layer of atmosphere. The scurrying continues, but now the oil lamps glow softly, their light casting shadows of rats upon marble walls. Pilgrims settle into prayer, the chanting of hymns weaving with the soft patter of paws. It is a soundscape like no other, a place where the divine is heard in whispers and in scratches, where the presence of the sacred is not distant, but skittering by your side. Outsiders sometimes struggle to understand. To many, rats conjure images of disease and ruin, creatures to be exterminated. But within these walls, they are family. They are the ancestors waiting patiently for their return to human life. The temple does not deny the nature of rats, but transforms it, seeing beyond the surface into the eternal cycles of existence. What some cultures revile, another cherishes, turning fear into faith. And in this transformation lies something quietly profound. The Karni Mata Temple reminds us that the boundaries between sacred and profane, clean and unclean, are not fixed, but shaped by belief and reverence. Where one person sees filth, another sees blessing. Where one recoils, another bows. As you drift deeper into the thought of this temple, imagine yourself seated on its marble floor. The warm desert night presses gently against your skin, the faint scent of milk and incense lingering in the air. Around you, the rats move freely, brushing against your feet, nibbling at grains, living their small lives without fear. Their tiny eyes reflect the lamplight, glimmering like stars scattered close to earth. And above it all, the story of Karni Mata continues, whispering of life, death, and rebirth. This temple, strange as it may seem, is not a place of horror, but of comfort. It is a reminder that life takes many forms, that devotion can turn even the humblest of creatures into vessels of the divine. It is a place where the eternal is glimpsed in the twitch of a whisker, the scurry of paws, the shared offering of a bowl of milk. And so, the Temple of Rats remains one of the most unusual sanctuaries in the world, where the sacred is not grand or mighty, but small, countless, and ever-moving. A place where devotion whispers softly in the dark, carried by thousands of tiny feet. As the night deepens and the rats continue their endless dance, we can let this story drift with us into sleep. A dream of marble halls filled with tiny guardians, of legends that make the ordinary extraordinary, of faith that finds beauty even in the most unexpected of creatures. Thank you for listening, dear dreamer. If you'd like to wander with me again into the strange and forgotten corners of history, I invite you to gently subscribe so we may drift together once more into the shadows of the past.